Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to the Grand Budapest Hotel. So this is a donation reward movie reaction. And let me just make 100% sure here, just so I don't say who it was wrong. Yes, this was for Matthew Vasquez. So thank you, Matthew, for your donation and for choosing this film. This is a Wes Anderson film, just like Isle of Dogs, which we had reacted to. And it stars Ralph Fiennes, who is M currently in the James Bond movies and was Voldemort in the Harry Potter movies, among plenty of other roles and all. And that's pretty much all I know about this film, besides obviously being about a hotel, I guess. So the funny thing is, when I first heard about this film, I thought it was talking about the Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, which is another kind of like film like this, except it's, I guess, more feel good than this one might be. I don't know. I don't know what this is about. So, but the Best Exotic Marigold Hotel has like oh my God, the names are escaping me. Dame Judi Dench, Dame Maggie Smith, Bill Nighy, and some other big names in it. It's a really good movie. I would definitely suggest checking it out. There's also a second one, which I don't think I ever saw, but so I might have to check that out at some point. Oh, and Dev Patel is in it as well. He was in Slumdog Millionaire. And he was also Prince Zuko in the live-action Airbender movie, Last Airbender movie. But we tend to forget about that. Although, to be fair, he was not the worst part of that movie. He was actually not terrible compared to everyone else. He was like one of the only ones in that movie who wasn't terrible. He wasn't great though either, to be fair. So, but yeah, this movie, I don't know. I think there's other big names in this film as well. I just can't remember who. I just remember Ralph Fiennes is in it for sure. I guess we'll find out who else might be in it. But yeah, this is a Wes Anderson film, like I said, with Isle of Dogs. Isle of Dogs for me was interesting. It wasn't bad, but it definitely had some real good stuff to it. But it also just, I feel it wasn't as good as a lot of people said it was. And I just feel like it could have been a little better at certain points and in certain ways. There were certain things that just felt off about it. And I talked all about that in that reaction, so go check that out if you want to know all the details. But I think that was the only Wes Anderson film I had ever seen. The only other one I know by name, at least, is The Fantastic Mr. Fox, and I know I've never seen that because I was never interested. But hey, maybe that will be one for the future that someone suggests as a reward. But today, yeah, like I said, I know nothing about this other than I assume has to do something with a hotel. I guess in Budapest, which is in Hungary. Unless it's just named after Budapest. But it could be in Hungary. I don't know a lot about Hungary as a country. It's just one of those countries I just never learned much of anything about. Like you hear a lot of stuff in school about stuff like France and England and Germany and Italy and whatnot, but you never hear about like Hungary or um oh my God, Romania. That's what I was trying to think of, or Armenia or places like that. It's like you never hear about that kind of stuff in school. So it's like I don't know much about Hungary other than, Budapest, Hungary. That's pretty much all I know. Um, but I guess I'm interested to find out. I'm definitely interested to see who the other big names in this are that I just can't remember. When this film first came out, like I realize what film it is now compared to Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. Um, I definitely had seen commercials for it. I just don't remember anything about them. Um, so I know I've heard of the movie. I know I've seen trailers and commercials and stuff for the movie, advertising in general. I just don't remember anything about it. It's been a while. This movie's not that new, right? It's been out for quite a few years, I believe. So yeah, it's just I guess we'll find out what it's about. I don't know. I'm just trying to pad out these pre thoughts a little bit. um, but yeah, like I said, this is a donation reward for Matthew Vasquez. So thank you, Matthew, for continuing to support the channel and help out. And thank you for continuing to choose some interesting sounding rewards. And hopefully they continue to be good because, yeah, I have hopes for them. I can't say high hopes because I don't want to like assume everything's going to be good, but I hope everything's going to be good. You know what I mean? I'm terrible at wording things. Either way, we're just going to get this started so I don't have to talk about that anymore. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the movie. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So before anything, I want to go through this cast here. So I recognized most of them. But there's a few I want to like focus on here. First of all, Madame D, the dowager who died and everything, that was Tilda Swinton. And I'm just like mind blown by that because it's like I would have never guessed that was Tilda Swinton. Um, and there's a few other notable ones here as well that I didn't notice. First off, the police investigator was not who I thought it was. It was not. Oh, now I can't even remember his name. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It was not Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It was Edward Norton. So another actor I know of for sure. It's just I got the name. I got the wrong name. But then there's a few here that I want to note as well. Oh, but real quick, one of the concierges, it like showed a bunch of those concierges at the point, with like Bill Murray was there and everything. One of them was Owen Wilson, apparently. I'm gonna have to look back and try to figure out which one he was. I would have never guessed that. But here's a few characters. First off, Zero, young Zero, was Tony Revolori. I might be mispronouncing that. And it's like I was thinking the entire time while watching, it's like he kind of looks familiar, but I'm not sure. But I know him. He's Flash in the MCU Spider-Man movies. He's Flash Thompson. Um, I very much know him. I love the MCU Spider-Man movies, so yeah. And then old Zero was F. Murray Abraham, who I know more by name than ever remembering like what he's been in. He was in Isle of Dogs for one. So he was also in that. But it's like, let's see, what else was he in here? Trying to find stuff I know. Not just stuff I know of, but actual stuff like I would know him from. Well, apparently he's in 13 Ghosts, the 2001 horror film with Tony Shalhoub. I haven't seen that in a long time, so I don't remember too much from that, so I wouldn't recognize him from that. He was a voice in How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. I think looking at this and everything, I'm not seeing anything I very much would know him from. That's the thing. So I think it's just I know him more by name, especially after Isle of Dogs. But then you have Agatha. So Agatha was, and I do not know how to pronounce this because it looks like it would be pronounced Sours or Sarasi or something like that. I know it's I know it's Irish, but I have no idea how to actually pronounce it. Oh, actually, it says right here. Never mind. Saoirse. Yeah, that's right, Saoirse. Yeah, because I've heard Jacksepticeye pronounce the name before. It's like it's an Irish name, and it does not look like it would be pronounced Saoirse. But yeah, that's right. But yeah, she was Agatha. Um, she looked familiar too, so I wanted to check out who else or like what else I might know her from. So let's see here. Oh, she was in that 2011 movie Hannah, which I never actually saw, but I do know of. She was the voice of Arietti in the English dub of Secret World of Arietti. Oh well, I know her voice from that. Definitely would know that as a Studio Ghibli fan. Though there are Studio Ghibli films I haven't seen, but still. That looks like it for her. Oh, she hosted Saturday Night Live, apparently. Interesting. But yeah, it seems like there's other movies I know of, but have just never seen, like The Lovely Bones and whatnot. I've heard of Lady Bird and Mary Queen of Scots, Little Women. Um, but then there's Mathau Amalric. He was the villain in the James Bond movie Quantum of Solace. I can never remember the villain's name. Let me see if I can find that real quick. I don't know if he was in anything else I know, but I definitely remember him from that. Dominic Green. Yes. Um, Dominic Green in Quantum of Solace. Oh, he was Surge, by the way. That's who he was in Grand Budapest Hotel. He was Surge X. I'm not seeing anything else. So, yeah, I definitely recognized a good amount of the cast. Um, oh, here's one I didn't check yet. Uh, Monsieur Jean, who we didn't really see a lot of, was Jason Schwartzman, whose name I also recognize. I wasn't sure if I recognized him though. The Monsieur Jean. Um, Nothing here I would really know him from so far. Oh, never mind. He was Gideon Graves in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. That's like just yeah, straight up. He was Gideon. Yeah, I was kind of thinking like I'm not sure if I know him. Oh, apparently he was a co-writer of Isle of Dogs as well. Oh, he was the voice of Jesper and Klaus. That's where I know the name from. He was the voice of Jesper and Klaus. That's fantastic. That's definitely where I know the name from, though. I was like wondering, like I knew the name specifically. And there's a few other like notable names in here. Like Harvey Keitel was Ludwig, the bald guy from the prison, who I was like, I'm not sure if I recognize you, but I think I recognize you. I recognize your voice. Remember that guy? Like that was Harvey Keitel. It's like I didn't recognize him because of him being bald and fully clean shaven. I'm not used to Harvey Keitel looking like that. Um, but yeah, so thoughts on the film now that I've gone through all this cast shit for like 7 minutes. Um, Thoughts on the film. This was pure insanity. Like this movie was blatantly pure insanity. It, okay, so we have this author who at the beginning is shown to be dead. We see his grave marker covered in hotel keys, and then it flashes back to him telling a story of when he was younger, and he talked to the old hotel owner, and then it flashes back further to when the old hotel owner was younger as a young lobby boy and serving the first concierge of the hotel. And it's just like, just that alone is like, oh my god, the flashbacks inside of flashbacks, flashbackception here. Um, but most of the movie took place during the time of Zero as the young uh, lobby boy and his misadventures, basically, with Monsieur Gustave. Um, so my overall thoughts on the insanity that is the story is that it's just a bunch of wacky hijinks of these characters going through the most ridiculous bullshit. And it all centers down to this. So the concierge, kind of a playboy, he likes these old, wealthy, blonde, white women. He gets with them often, and so one of them ends up leaving the hotel, not fully wanting to, but she does, and ends up dying shortly after. Uh, he ends up being given a very fanciful portrait, painting. That's the word I was trying to think of. In the will, but the woman's son and those who work with him debate this and argue against this and just start killing the shit out of people. And we eventually find out did also kill Madame D as well. Um, and so basically, most of the story is Zero and Gustav having to escape from these people, escape Gustav having to escape from jail, and just not only prove their innocence, but prove the guilt of the other side. And it's just blatant insanity. Like there's the kind of B plot love story between Zero and Agatha, and it's really cute. It is, and it's nice, but we do find out it ends on a really sour note because of a disease, which unfortunately that kind of stuff happened. Um, but yeah, it's like it was cute, it was nice, but it was so minor to the overall story. Like it was important to the character, to Zero's character, but in terms of the actual story, it was very minor. The story was mostly honestly centered around Gustav more than Zero. Even though Zero was basically like the catalyst through which the story was being told, but it was more centered on Gustav. Um, and there's so much to unpack here. Um, like this is clearly like this guy who's already dead, when he was alive, told the story of when he was young, about when he was told a story from an old guy about when he was young. So this is multiple generations in the past that most of this story takes place. Like 3, 4 generations in the past or something like that. And it's like wild to think about that in and of itself. The characters were interesting, but there wasn't a lot to most of them. Obviously, Gustav and Zero had probably the most screen time, so they had more to them than any other characters. Most of the other characters were either one note or so ridiculously cartoony it was hilarious. Dimitri, as I said, is so fucking ridiculously over the top supervillain. It's like his look, the mustache, the hair that kind of slightly spiked up, the fucking outfit he was wearing, it was so ridiculously over the top supervillain in the best possible way. It's like the instant you see him, you know he's pure evil. You know he's a psychopath. And it's just like, and it was proven right. Willem Dafoe's character, Jopling, this stoic, mostly quiet, heavy drinking hitman. It's like, yeah, that's a kind of a stereotype in and of its own way. This extremely intimidating stoic hitman. It's like, yeah, seen that in other kinds of movies and stuff. Agatha, this cute apprentice baker who's really nice, really kind, but also can handle herself really well. It's like she's a good example of a modern, like, what do you strong female empowering character. Um, so it's kind of interesting to see that kind of character portrayed, like, again, generations in the past like that. Because back in those days, like, women were not honestly respected and treated well as they should have been. But we still got to see her as a very good character, and she was definitely very well handled. I liked her. Again, she was a strong female character. She had a lot of smarts, a lot of courage and strength to her. She was great, and I can definitely see why Zero fell in love with her. We didn't see a lot of Madame D, so not really much to say on her. She was very kind of this one note, like, scared old lady who's smitten with Gustav. That's pretty much it. But she was more of a catalyst. It's like you see a murder mystery movie, and it's like the person who dies isn't supposed to be like a major character. They're not supposed to like have a lot of depth to them. They're literally a catalyst for the rest of the movie to exist. That's definitely what Madame D was here. The police inspector, just a typical police inspector character, not much to him. Serge Serge was interesting. He seemed very shady early on and very concerning, but then it ends up being like, oh no, I was just forced to do this shit, and then he ends up getting killed, and it's like, okay. He didn't have too much of a personality outside of being slightly shady. So not much to talk about. Kovacs, Jeff Goldblum's character. It was Jeff Goldblum. Like, if you've seen Jeff Goldblum in anything, most of his characters are the same. Um, I don't even know how to describe it. It's Jeff Goldblum. Though I haven't seen some of his older stuff. Like, I never saw The Fly, which is really interesting because that's like a huge name horror film. I've never seen it. Um, but I've seen him in like Jurassic Park and stuff like that. Various things here and there. Obviously, he's in Thor Ragnarok. Harvey Keitel, I've seen in plenty of things. His character was, again, interesting, but not a lot to him. It's just like, oh, this cool kind of guy. He likes Gustav, and he's helping Gustav escape, and everyone else there. Sure. We didn't get a lot of Jude Law as the young author or Tom Wilkinson as the older version. We just didn't get a lot of them. Same with Bill Murray, Jason Schwartzman, all of them. The maid, who apparently is named Clotilde, or Clotilde? I don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced. But she was played by Leia Seydoux, by the way. So that's just general thoughts on the characters. It was definitely focused on Zero and Gustav. Gustav was he was definitely supposed to be the star of the movie. That much is very obvious. Which is why I said before that it's like, even though it's being told from Zero's perspective, it's about Gustav. He's clearly meant to be the star of the movie. It's focusing on him. He definitely holds every scene he's a part of. And from his character, we see he's kind of a playboy with the type he tends to go for. He's very smart. He's well spoken. He's clever, but he's also very quick to emotion. He can get very emotional very easily, and to the point where he says things he really does not mean and really like regrets afterwards. He gets really angry really easily and very quick to just spout out a bunch of shit to basically get back at whatever or whoever made him angry. Like we saw with Zero, with what he went at with Zero. Yeah. But we also see he's excessively loyal and caring to those who he considers friends. Also, as we see with Zero. And we see that he very much respects people. He very much cares about people. Like the instant he hears that Madame D died, he was actually really taken aback by it and instantly wanted to get ready to go and see her, to be there at her wake and everything. Because he cared about her, just like he cares about all these women he gets with, just to put simply. And it was cool to see that. It was cool to see that from him. Zero was very naive, just this kind of young kid out of his depth, but also had a lot of bravery and a lot of loyalty. It's like, okay, I'm being hired in as the lobby boy. I'm serving under Monsieur Gustave. I am going to serve under him, no matter what that means. He is excessively loyal to a fault, really. Which I think they actually mentioned that in the movie, maybe. Um, but yeah, he was excessively loyal to a fault to Gustave, and would follow him to the ends of the earth and would serve under him and just did everything he could to help. And he messed up at a couple points, like when the prison break happened and everything, and Gustave met him outside the prison. He didn't get what he needed to get. There was no getaway car for them. There was no safe house. He forgot the perfume. But he still came through in the end and helped Gustave, even when Gustave necessarily didn't deserve it at times. Um, they had good chemistry. The actors, Ray Fiennes and Tony Revolori, they had great chemistry with each other. They worked extremely well off of each other. So I really like that. But like I said, this movie was just insanity. It was so much happening so quickly. It's just like throwing stuff at you constantly. But I really enjoyed it. Like, I could not explain to you most of what happened and in what order. But I can tell you, I really had fun with it. It was entertaining. It was funny. The part where the police came to the hotel and they're like, "Oh, by the way, Gustav, you are accused of murdering Madame D. You're under arrest." And he's like, "Oh, so you think I murdered Madame D?" Huh. Bolts. That was really fucking funny. I don't fully know why, but just how sudden it was that he just bolted like that. Especially when he knew he was innocent. It's like, oh my god. Um, I've seen Ray Fiennes in a couple things now, but this is such a different role than what I've seen him in. Like he's nothing like he is in James Bond. He's nothing like he is in Harry Potter. And it's like I got to give him massive credit for that, just the range there. Like he showed a completely different side of his acting ability in this film. And like I said, he was the star. He owned every scene he was in, which is most of the movie. Um, so I found out this movie is from 2014. I was wondering exactly when it was from. I was not 100% sure on that. But yeah, it was from quite a bit ago. But that's fine. I mean, nothing wrong with that. It's just I thought it was newer than that. And it just makes me feel like, wow, time is really passing by quickly. I feel like I'm getting old or something. With how quickly it feels like time has just been passing by in my more recent years, I guess you could say. Um, because um, it just feels like this. Again, I saw trailers for this and everything, and it just does not feel like it's been that long ago. I'm looking at a picture here. Okay, yeah, I can. There's a picture that shows the cast in all their costumes and everything, and yeah, that's definitely Owen Wilson. But he has his hair like slicked back, and it's short and slicked back. He has a mustache. It's also darker than it normally is, so I definitely would not have recognized him. And Tilda Swinton does not look anything like Tilda Swinton, so that's definitely why I did not recognize her. Um, so yeah, yeah, that's pretty interesting though. I recognize most of them, like Adrian Brody, Willem Dafoe, Jeff Goldblum. It's like, yeah, I recognize them. I recognize Jude Law, Ray Fiennes, Bill Murray. It's like, yeah, I recognized probably about half of the major cast. I would say. I recognized pretty pretty quickly. Um, and then others I recognized but didn't could not tell if I knew them, like Harvey Keitel. Um, but yeah, again, I had a lot of fun with this film. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was just a bunch of wacky insanity. And sometimes that's enjoyable, even if it's not like your favorite film or anything, even if it's not something that's exceptional or just really insanely able to be followed at all that well. Um, Sometimes just that blatant insanity of a film can just be enjoyable and fun to watch. I've heard Knives Out is like that too. That's another one I haven't seen. I've heard, I don't know if this is true, but I've heard Knives Out is kind of like that, just a lot of insanity. Um, so that's one I've been kind of wanting to check. Well, I've wanted to check that one out anyway. And there was another film like that that I wanted to check out too. That was kind of in that same vein. I don't know if it was about a hotel as well or not, though. I think that this other one was a murder mystery. I don't know. Let me see if I can find something on it. I think, um, God, I can't remember his name now. The Superman actor. I think he was in it, though. Henry Cavill. Again, I think it was this murder mystery film. It was more. I think it was more recent, at least. um, Let me see if I can find it here. Maybe it wasn't him. Yeah, because it definitely was within the last 5 years. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything like from that. I swear there was like something semi-recent. Wonder if I could find by putting recent murder mystery movies. Hey, Crooked House. I reacted to that. No, but that's not what I'm looking for, obviously. No, it wasn't Murder on the Orient Express. I did see that though. Oh, that was I found it. Um, Bad Times at the El Royale. That was it. And who was in that? Because it's clearly not who I was thinking. Jeff Bridges. That's not at all who I was thinking was in it. No, there's someone younger who's in it that I was thinking about. Might have been John Hamm. He's in this. I think it might have been Chris Hemsworth. I don't know why I confused those two actors, but either way, that's what I was thinking. That's another one I haven't seen. Bad Times at Del Royale. I heard that one was like this blatant insanity murder mystery or something like that. But either way, thank you, Matthew Vasquez, for choosing this as your donation reward. If you have any other films you would like to suggest, please feel free whenever you would be able to. No pressure. Um, but yeah, it's like whether it's another Wes Anderson film, whether it's any of those other films I mentioned, or also are on my list on Discord or whatever, or even if it's just something else that you just would love to see me react to, any of that kind of stuff. Let me know when you can, if you can, all of that jazz, as always. And if anyone else wishes to donate for a donation reward reaction, all you have to do is go to donate on PayPal, which is linked in my description below. Or if you want to talk to me about it beforehand, we can definitely talk in the comments. You can donate any amount that you're able and comfortable with doing so. Any amount, no matter what amount of money it is, gets you a donation reward. One donation reward per donation. You can choose to have me react to a movie, a series, basically whatever, as long as I haven't seen it. Movies tend to be a little easier to get to because series, it's like, oh yeah, I have to watch through the entire series unless I end up dropping it, in which case I don't know, we might figure something else out, but it just takes longer to get through the series reactions than it does for movies. Movies just, I get to quicker. Or YouTube stuff. If you wanted to have me react to something that's on YouTube, like that would be able to be gotten to a little quicker too. But yeah, either way, if you want to, like, you can just comment here on the video or on any video to ask about it or talk about it. Just let me know so we can work it out and with what you're going to want as a donation reward. And if you want to, you can donate any amount, like I said. Like if you had like $10 you wanted to donate, you could actually do that in multiple donations, like two $5 donations, and get 2 different rewards if you wanted. Because again, it's one reward for every donation you make, no matter what amount it is. So yeah. But like I said, only if you can. No pressure to do so. Only if you can. I'm not gonna like try to make you do so, or I'm not gonna try to guilt you out of money. It's just if you can. It's just something fun I do on the channel to get people involved, and honestly, I won't lie that it does help me a bit, especially with this quarantine, this pandemic still going on, even though it is getting better, though Texas is trying its damnedest to change that. But even though it's getting better, it's still happening and still needs to be taken seriously. Either way, yeah, tell me what you thought of this film down in the comments below, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.